Oh, we're recording. Hello, everyone. My name is Yaro. Welcome to Visual Arts session. So, the plan for today is I'm going to talk a little bit about visual arts, why it is important, why I think it is important for you, might be important for you. Then I will open the room for questions, and hopefully the second years can join in and answer those questions and question those answers as well. So a little bit about me. My name is Yaro. I come from Russia. This is my 5th year at UWC Diligent teaching visual arts. I mentioned in my intro that I'm a UWC alum. I went to Atlantic College in Wales. And the fun fact is that I have never taken visual arts when I was at UWC. Why? Because I was afraid that I'm not talented enough to join visual arts. You see, if you come from Russia, if you can't paint like Leonardo da Vinci on the day you're born, then people will kind of look at you and think, he's not really a talented artist. He shouldn't really choose this career path. So I didn't do it, but here I am teaching it visual arts. So, visual arts. What is visual arts? Visual arts is a journey, like I said in the intro, if you've watched it, of course. You know that I said it's a journey. It's a journey that has a start, but doesn't have an end, hopefully. And you can look at this journey from the outside and from the inside. And from the outside, it is just a regular IB subject. It's another IB academic subject with everything that it entails. Like it has deadlines, assessments, grades. There's no exam though. Your exhibition will be your exam. But in all other respects, it is an IB academic subject. However, if you look from the inside, visual arts is a journey, a personal journey that you all undertake. We all walk around with our thoughts, feelings, emotions, hopes, dreams, fears, ideas, and they're kind of contained within us. But if you learn the skills, and if you get the right tools, you can express them outside. You can share them. So it all comes down to thinking about what you have to say. What do you want to say with your art? What are you trying to say? What is your message? And a lot of us, we walk around doing our things every day, and we don't really ask ourselves those questions. We don't really question, what is our purpose? What are we about, and who are we? And once you start asking yourself those questions, gradually you start digging deeper and deeper into yourself in order to formulate what it is that you're trying to say to the world. And it can be happy, it can be very positive, it can be about beauty, it can be about joy, but it can also be about negative things. It can be about grief, depression, separation, sadness. We all experience those things all the time. And if you have the right tool set, then you can express it and bring it into reality. Also, another very important aspect about visual arts and its discourse is that you learn to see. Hence the title, visual arts. It's to do with our eyes, with our vision. It's how we see. I'll give you an example. Those who have taken visual arts now know that snow isn't really white. Yeah, we all think that snow is white, isn't it? It's not really white. Once you start attempting to paint it, you'll discover that it can be gray. It's usually blue. It can be yellow or orange if it's sunset or sunrise, very bright. I mean, it can be yellow for other reasons, but it's all, it's all about the light. And same with our trees. If you look outside, I mean, trees are, I mean, there is green in that, but it's not just green, is it? You start to look carefully and you start to notice things as you try to put them on paper. So those are important things about visual arts. And I really believe that this course is not for artists. It's not for artists. This course is for everybody. You don't have to know how to paint or draw to join this course. And I will show you now a few examples from the past of different possibilities that exist in visual arts so that you understand the range of things that you can be doing with this course. So I'm going to share my screen now, if it lets me do that, hopefully. Okay. Give me a sign when it's doing my entire screen, okay? Okay, my entire screen. Okay, share. Okay, I'm sharing it now. Can you see that I'm sharing it? Say something.
Yes.
Thank you. So, I'm gonna go. So you see this collage? It's a student, Aldana, from Argentina a few years ago. So it can be photography, it can be collage. It can be fine arts, it can be portraiture. That's a painting of a student from Poland, again, a few years ago. Again, another painting. You guys can all see, right? Yes? Can you see? Say yes. Say yes. I don't see you. I see the screen.
Yes.
So this is a painting by a guy from Belarus a few years ago. More photography, black and white photography. And this is about this student undergoing this depression and kind of heavy feelings. Very cool photo session. This is another collage by another student from Belarus. And he first have taken the pictures with the camera and then turned it into painting. Svetlana from Armenia, very expressive works. It doesn't have to be photorealistic. It can be very expressive. More photography, architecture photography. Another painting by Aldana, Henri Matisse inspired. Architectural collage, digital work. So you don't even have to attempt painting. You can do things digitally on a computer. If you're into Photoshop and Illustrator, that can be your area. But again, it can be fine arts, a traditional still life from Ani from Vanadzor 3 years ago. Masha from St. Petersburg, painting of her friend. I think this deals about questions of time and separation. Augusto Palares from Brazil. Yes, I think it was Brazil. Again, he was really into architecture from the start, and David Hockney, the artist, so he done this digital collages. That's another one by him. Ceramics this time, inspired by cave paintings and Pablo Picasso and the bull, very important symbol in Spain. Shirley from Indonesia, batik. This is a painting on silk. You could do that. Again, from Masha, St. Petersburg, a portrait of another student, Manaya. This one is interesting because it was huge, like 2 meters by 2 meters. And it was sold to one of the school donors for $3,000 that went back to the school. And thanks to that, we can buy more paint and more brushes. So you can fundraise with your art. More photography, this time is darkroom photography. We have a darkroom, and you can manipulate images in all sorts of ways in the darkroom with your hands. really analog, hands-on process. You can spill the chemicals and brush them onto the paper. Ceramics, my area of expertise. So this is a student, Nancy from Wales, graduated last year, I think, yeah, last year. Ceramics. Another ceramic piece from Nelly from Armenia. I tried. That's a good one. I tried. At least I tried. There's another one by Shirley from Indonesia. Huge thing, very heavy. Still somewhere in the academic building. You can see it. A fashion shoot in Diligent. How does it look like? It looks like this. This is how a fashion shoot in Diligent might look like. This is a work by Petar from Croatia. He was really into fashion, and he was designing clothes. I can do that in visual art. I can't really teach you that because I don't know anything about that. I don't know much about it. But if you have this skill, this can be your area of expertise too. This one from Carol last year. Carol from Canada, he was into abstract art. It doesn't have to be realistic, it can be abstract, non-objective. More digital art, Photoshop, working from a photograph. Another self-portrait of Masha from St. Petersburg. More collages. This one is by Joanna from Belgrade. Works can be small, can be huge. This one is really, really large. More abstract art. And this is a visual arts exhibition. You will be putting your exhibition, second years will be putting the exhibition at the end of the course, this academic year. And so you put together a collection of works that you choose for public display. More photojournalist projects from about Armenia and about Soviet factories. There are lots and lots in this area. Another huge painting by Aldana. More ceramics. This golden skull was a student from, I think it was from Peru. Anyway, I think I'll stop there because the time is running. But you get an idea that this, stop sharing, yeah? I've stopped sharing. You can get an idea that this course can be about you and about what you bring to the course, about your cultural heritage, about your ideas, dreams. We don't really tell you what to do. We tell you a little bit in the beginning, but later on, you're on your own and you're working with a group of artists and with myself and a colleague of mine, Lee, who's the head of arts and is an expert in kind of theory and history of art. And so this course is about you. And if you think and look around, visual arts is everywhere. If you wear glasses, it's visual arts. Somebody designed this object. The computer you're looking at now is visual arts. It's product design. Your phone, your clothes, the room you're in, interior design, the building you're in is architecture. So everything that surrounds you now is designed and made by somebody, by a visual artist. So with these thoughts and words of wisdom, I'm gonna open the floor to the questions from you, and I hope that second years can answer them. I'll join in too, but I'll go on the wheel now and try to do a demo in the remaining time. All right? Everybody okay with this plan? Okay. So fire your questions. We're happy to answer them. Are there any questions? I've answered them all. Questions, questions. Hopes, fears, dreams. Come on, just go with the questions. I'm sure everybody has it. Somebody has a question. How do you grade art?
I have a question.
Excellent. What's your name?
So how much time does visual arts usually take? Like, I understand it's a lot of work and a lot of time, but approximately, do you know how much time we'll have?
Second years, you can answer this question better than I can.
Do you mean like how much time one spends on visual arts?
Yeah.
Depends on what you take it on SL or HL, because for HL you need to produce from 7 to 10 paintings, and for SL it's from 46, right? 46. And these paintings, it really depends on you, how fast you paint, or what is your theme, or what are you doing your art with. So, do you have any specific things in mind, like you want to do painting or?
Yeah, I think I'll do painting because I love painting like flowers and detail and nature and stuff. So yeah, painting.
To be honest, there's not like a specific amount of time you spend on it. It just you need to think about it and be in visual arts always. Like that's how I am. I'm always here, and I do other homework as like the
Okay,
next priority. Yeah.
thank you.
Is there a number of pieces the only distinction between SL and HL? Come on, second years, I would like to hear from you.
There's also a part in the comparative study. Do you know what comparative study is? First of all,
Did you watch too many?
did you watch it? Did you do your homework?
No, yeah. In the comparative study, HLs have to also write about how those artists have influenced their own art making process, whereas SL students just have to do the comparison and they'll be fine. There is a extra criteria for the HL students.
I think it's also the number of hours. Yarrow, correct me if I'm wrong, like the number of classes that you have per week.
Yes and no. In the beginning, we teach the course for both HL and SL at the same time. So whereas in other subjects, you know, the class is kind of separated. The separation in between SL and HL in visual arts is not really that big because you learn the same skills and you acquire, you know, you go through the same workshops and the same techniques, and it's just you'll spend less time making because you're required to make less works, but you learn the same skills. I don't know if that answers the question. Yeah. It's kind of tricky with the video. Can you see something that I'm making or not really?
The wooden, I don't know, whatever is wooden in front of you. Yeah, that, okay. Yeah, far better.
Okay. Hope you excuse me for not really. I think I'm just gonna focus on the hands as we speak. So more questions? More questions?
I have a question. So most of the students are not in a campus yet and still are quarantining, and we will have most of our lessons online. So how we will start working like visual arts? We need to paint. So are we able to come to visual arts room?
Mm-hmm. Very, very, very good question. How will we work with this situation, current situation that we have? What I know about this is that we're going to be teaching online at least till October. So, and it's about 3 weeks. And I'm just keeping all my fingers crossed that after that you're released and can come to classes. Because otherwise, why did you come here? You know, you could be doing this from your room in your country. So, but for these 3 weeks, we're gonna do digital stuff, and we're gonna orient ourselves within visual arts. And I'm gonna give you tasks, short, fun exercises to warm you up, for you to get an idea what this course is about, to free you up a little bit, because we all have our fears, like I said, and we're a little bit afraid to show them. So the beginning of the course, we can do things digital, and also I have a plan of the second years delivering something some physical objects to your rooms. So it'll be mostly digital, but also hands-on a little bit. Yeah, and hopefully after that, we'll go into real studio work.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, more questions? We still have about 20 minutes to talk about art. Or you just prefer to watch this, yeah? Ceramics is an interesting thing. People like watching it on YouTube. There are hours and hours of this. I haven't really thrown anything since April because of the pandemic. So what shall we make? Maybe like a little cup, little vase. Questions, ideas, fears. Come on, this is your chance. Second years, maybe you can think of things you want to share. Maybe you want to warn the first years.
I think I just wanted to make something clear.
Yeah.
I think before joining visual arts, I was like, I cannot join it because I'm not like artsy, or I literally don't know how to draw, or like I don't have any artistic abilities. But I think visual arts is such an open classroom that you literally find something that you're good at and that you enjoy. So you not necessarily have to be like the perfect painter or like drawer. There's a lot of other areas you can like for sure use in the classroom. Yeah.
Very good. I think there's a question there about the criteria. So we'll answer that. What criteria do you use to grade art? Am I right? Yeah. And that is the question. Is there any criteria in terms of grading system? Basic idea of what to expect. Yeah. Very important question. How do you grade art? How do you assign a number to something that's personal, that only you know what it really is about? Good question. It deals with issues of subjectivity and objectivity. And the criteria to grade your works of art, obviously, is the skill. It's how well it is made. Yeah, is it technically accomplished? Then there is a criterion about the idea, the concept, the thought behind the piece. Because it can be excellent, well done, but is there something behind it? What is the message? What is the concept? And finally, the third criterion about the collection of works is, are they coherent? Is there a link? Is there a common style, maybe a common thread that runs through your works, uniting them? Do a collection of works and individual pieces, do they speak to each other? Yeah. So these are the criteria for practical work, or also, and I think second years can talk more about it, we have an art history component. So you're going to be researching a lot. We have a writing component. You're going to be writing about works of art. And there is a process portfolio. 40% of the course is documenting your process, photographing and communicating your ideas, your failures, and your successes in the visual arts journal. And then you digitize that, and that is sent to the IB for a final mark. Second years, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I can add on this one. I think many people, at least I was really worried in the beginning about process portfolio and comparative study criteria, like marking system, and like what do you need to do, because the concept sounds so abstract, like you have to compile a portfolio and write something about stuff, and in comparative study you have to compare pictures, but there are so many ways to compare them, like is there a format and stuff like that, especially if you come from like an educational system when everything is told, like do a title with this type of font, on like proceed like this, and etc. So I mean, we don't know our grades yet, and like we haven't finished with this criteria, but I think because there's a lot of support from the teachers, and you can actually see the criteria published on the IB website, or so they would be sent to you. You can go through the like requirements and just check with them if you're doing everything correctly. And of course, especially if you're like not super confident in English, it may sound intimidating. Like, what does it mean? Like, I have to have like elaborate research, or I don't remember precisely, but you will be fine. Like, don't worry about that, because you have a lot of time with to deal with these components. And just, yeah, when you start, you will just have fun, explore different mediums, and then do the work that is graded.
Very good. More questions, fire your questions. It's difficult for me to press the buttons with the wet hands. So are there any more written questions there in the message chat?
Okay, so you told us that you didn't took visual arts as your subject in UWC. So how you came to this work?
Thank you. Very good question. Why the hell? Teacher, if you didn't do it. This refers to a question I just seen there about the ceramic cast. So when I was afraid to join visual arts at UWC, I joined the creative cast. We had like a photography cast. So that was my sneaky entry into the arts. And I loved it. I learned so much about photography from one of my mentors. And then later on, when I went to college and university in America, I was already smart enough, and I just embraced studio art. I thought, okay, maybe I'm talented. Maybe everything they told me before was a lie. And so I did 4 years of visual arts in college in America, focusing on ceramics and darkroom photography. So that's why these two areas are kind of my expertise in the subject. But we also have printmaking, we have painting, drawing, and the ability to do digital work as well. So you're not limited. You don't have to do ceramics and photography just because I do it. Yeah.
Thank you.
More? I think I'm almost finished with this piece. Can you see it? It's tricky with the light. Can you see something? Like a little vase. Can you see it? It's there. Or not? Say yes. Nod.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I'm just gonna work with this lip a little bit. One of my fears in visual arts when I chose it at college and university was, how can I sustain myself, you know? Because my parents, you know, my mother was afraid that, you know, how can I make a living out of it? You know, because all artists are poor and starving. But that's not true. You can enter education. Or you can be a designer, you know. A student of mine from Belarus, Artyom, he's done this course, and he's now studying in Ringling in Florida, and he's studying motion design. And I think he's gonna make it really, you know, he's gonna make it. He's gonna be earning more money than I can ever earn because he's doing really cool avant-garde motion design now. And I didn't teach him motion design, but that is an important aspect of this course. We teach you the skills and understandings that then you can use in your own area. I don't know much about motion design, but he's using the skills he learned within this course to apply them to upgrade his skills and do motion design. That's why I said this journey has a beginning, but doesn't really have an end. It doesn't stop. And this, you don't have to do art after you graduate. You can become a doctor or an engineer, and do lots of other things. But this course can enrich your life. At least you can have a hobby that can be a passion for the rest of your life, and you'll get understanding about visual culture, human visual culture. You won't get lost in the museum. That's an important thing. Okay. I think we're pretty much done. I'm going to take this one off the wheel. Okay. How do I take it off the wheel? Like this. Transfer it here. All right, so that's visual arts for you. If there are any more burning questions, we can answer them now. And if you have more questions before you decide, feel free to shoot an email to myself or the second years, and we'll tell you more about the questions you have, okay? We're done.